Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. We're talking about February 2024. Finally, you get to go forward, bounding ahead in plans that have to do with travel, learning, teaching, and communicating. This is the time where success has been spring loaded for you in all of these areas. But at the same time, this month ahead is going to make you want to be more in your downtime, to take some introspective, alone, solitude for solace time, to do some restoration and some deep reflection. And a lot of you Aries, therefore, although you are bounding forward in what I would say social media success or travel plans or things to do with communicating, you're also finding this way that you can go into a deeper place within yourself. And for some of you, depending if you're social media beasts like I am, could also be doing really well in balancing the work life revenue, not chase the paper, and enjoy your life. So let's get started and talk about this month ahead. And I'll be breaking it down into week by week, plus big planetary transit changes as well. We'll be here for no longer than 25 to 30 minutes, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. That's the gist of the monthly updates. If you like this kind of stuff for your sign, please like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. It truly helps my channel grow. And then I can also serve you because I get that algorithmic boost by your kindness to share. If you want to know more about me, anything about me, I am, by the way, Lori Lothian, Western Tropical Zodiac. This is not Vedic astrology. If you want to know more about what I'm up to, if you check my description box below, there's a little more button. You'll find stuff like my Substack, Pluto Chronicles articles there, and my community at Patreon, where you get all my content early access ad-free. This is recorded on January 19th. And my Patreon community is getting this today, kind of thing. We're at early access ad-free. And I also have the last bit of my sale is on till the end of January. You'll probably get this last week of January still left. But if you want to buy my 2025 All Sign Bundles, that's a year-long 2-hour forecast recorded by me with the PDF guidebook for each sign, separate information for each sign. You get that as downloadable audio and video files. Anyway, the sale is on still. Ho ho, Santa Claus got extended for 25% off. So go check it out. I'm trying new places in my home for all my regulars. Welcome back. This is my office. These are my pillows. This is the day bed. My desk is over there. And we're giving this a try. I'm finding it more interesting to move around and try different places to record to get myself excited about it all again. All right, so let's talk Aries. I'm going to show you the sky. It makes it difficult often to progress the chart. I've explained this to people before. The only one I can progress easily is Aries because I can pin it to the eastern horizon. So what I end up doing is just showing you the sky. I am not going to actually move this thing all the way through the whole month necessarily because it gets kind of awkward. I'll do my best. For Aries, it's easier, but it's just so you can see the lay of the land, okay? This is for Aries Sun, Aries Moon, and Aries Rising sign. How will you parse that? Well, the sun can be your soul, but it also can be in your eternal nature, but it can refer you to career and purpose matters. And when you're listening for your rising sign, it can be any part of your life because it's you at the steering wheel of your life. Represents you coming into life and taking on a character or avatar in the simulation. And of course, the moon can be your mind and your mind and your feelings and your thinking. It's kind of like the whole how you respond to life, but it also often correlates to matters to do with home and domicile. So those are 3 ways to listen. Listen for all 3 and see which ones make the most sense for you. So as we begin the month of February, Aries, you're looking at this is the basic template of the sky. And you'll notice that Jupiter is the first thing I like to talk about because it's so exciting. Of all the big planetary stories, before we break this down week by week, Jupiter is heading into direct motion on February 4th. You can see here that on February 2nd, he's still retrograde. But if we move ahead a couple of days, now he is direct. And Jupiter moving direct for you in your 3rd house is extraordinarily beneficial for your career gains. And first of all, as a general thought, go back to 2020. May of 2024, the 3rd week of May. And Jupiter was heading direct here. And you might have had through to October 9th. Lots of success, bounty, prosperity, luck regarding travel, journeys, things to do with writing projects, social media, siblings, a lot of going on there. I was traveling to visit my sibling. I was traveling on the El Camino. I'm an Aries sun and moon. And so these were Jupiter moving forward, and some really good successes maybe in your, say, online world. Like I went kind of mini viral over predicting the Trump attempt on Trump's life in July, amongst other things. And so then Jupiter decided in October on the 9th to go retrograde. And that's what I call deepening the bounty, because, he's not all about just about getting the stake in the matrix, like Cypher in the movie The Matrix, going back for the steak and wine, even though he knew it wasn't real. It's not enough to get the perks without the depth of wisdom, truth, and knowledge, and what's good and true. And what is good and true for you in your third house? What does Jupiter want for you regarding travel and neighbors and neighborhood and social media and things to do with the online world, of course, and things to do with writing and communicating. So Jupiter retrograde here is going to turn around, and between February 4th and June the 9th, moving rather quickly, he's going to go from 11 degrees to the end of the sign, and he's going to activate this energy of success. Best way: prosperity, luck, bounty, and success in all matters, third house. You might have felt like you kind of went offline after October 9th, like everything slowed down, like my ad revenue and my numbers on YouTube slowed down during this time, but I knew Jupiter was retrograde. So then I was like, oh, that's okay. This is just deepening the bounty, teaching me how to work less hard. So one thing you'll notice, though, as we start into the early part of February, I'm going to talk about February 1st to February 5th. February 1st to February 5th, as Jupiter is in this position of turning around, you'll notice that he's in a blue line flow to this part of the sky. And that's called the House of Good Spirit. And it represents your career gains, your dreams and goals and wishes for your life, and also matters to do with friendships and maybe a sibling one older than you, but allies, benefactors, helpers, people who want to be of service or assist you in some way. And then Jupiter flowing to that part of your sky the first 5 days or so of February is really lovely. And it opens up through till almost the 6th, actually. It opens up a feeling that maybe you could have something wondrous happen. That's maybe an overstatement. I hope not. Because when Jupiter is in this kind of conversation with Mercury, it's commercial success and prosperity through business enterprise. And so something is either just starting to take off, or maybe you're just starting to make a direction, because he changed direction in some kind of online teaching, learning, communicating, writing project. And Mercury is trying to say, I've got this, we've got this. This is going to be extremely lucrative or beneficial. Another way this could play out is a chance to travel, to visit siblings visiting you, or traveling with a friend and enjoying your travels. But whatever it is, it's a luscious beginning of the month from February 1st to the 5th with this energy playing out. All the while, Venus is in also an interesting condition, co-joined with Neptune. Now, you'll not see it here because you have to back her up a bit, but February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Venus and Neptune are playing as one. Venus and Neptune together is true love, soulmate love, higher love, deep love, sacred love. It's great for creativity. It's great for pleasure. In your chart, it's the kind of pleasure you want to do in an ashram or a getaway place or a place of relaxation outside the hustle bustle of your daily life. And it can bring you into a great deal of spiritual awareness as well with that North Node Venus Neptune combination. And so there's something very much like treat yourself to something, a getaway, some downtime, some solitude. Treat yourself to something that you really feel is soul nourishing in the first, 3 or 4 days of the month of February, all the while knowing that Jupiter on the 4th is going to move into position to begin to activate new adventures and success through commercial writing, selling, marketing, communicating, and great gains from your career, for example. Normally the way I do these videos, and I'm not going to do it today, is I talk about the planetary outer planets and then I do everything in order, but I'm going to just move it into a new format. We're just going to go chronological, if that's okay with you guys, because we have a couple moons to talk about and stuff. So there is this week, as I said, this starts off, we're just going to say extremely positively. No two ways about it. Then we move into February 6th. Now, February 6th, alrighty, we're going to narrow this down. February 6th, Venus will sextile Pluto, and she'll still continue to do that through till the 8th. Let's see if I can't take a look at that. So Pluto is, yeah, you see what I mean? All right, I'll move it back, but I'm going to pin this one. It's easy to pin Aries. So give me a 30-second, fix the chart and pin you guys, okay? We're going to move it to 0 Aries, and that'll help me on the Aries people. So you'll notice that Venus is at 1 degrees here, and she's flowing to Pluto. And what does it mean for you? Venus flowing to Pluto, February 6th, 7th, and 8th is a wealth yoga. It's also profound love, deep love, and ease. Depth of friendship, depth of connection, the power of love, sometimes the love of power. And either which way, hallelujah, what a great little situation to be in. I would totally be okay with that because I have a sun there, so and moon, so I'm going, yes. Venus is in Aries. She will be retrograding, but she's still in direct motion. And she'll be readdressing her situation with Pluto 2 more times. I won't be going into that today. You can watch my main channel for stories about Venus's retrograde and or join my Venus retrograde class. And I'll put the link to my Venus retrograde 6-week class in the description box below this video. But Venus flowing to Pluto can generate a significant current of financial wellness for you through your career endeavors and doing what you love, or being who you are and truly aligning with your deep values. And this is a good opportunity for you to really look at your values through the lens of, I want to be rich and powerful, and Pluto is trying to help, but am I in my value alignment? And if you are in your value alignment, you're going to look at this as a very prosperous and luscious window of time, most likely connected to career matters. And we would not mind that. So we'll say yes. Mars is an interesting story. He dominates the sky, February 6th to February 13th. That's a whole week of Mars dominating a story. Again, February 6th to February 13th. And what is that about? Well, he is retrograding in your 4th house, and he hasn't been here in this retrogradation type of story since 1977 to 78, September to June. So this is hard for us to make comparisons unless we're looking at political history. But Mars is retrograding in your 4th house, and it has to do with going back over your childhood, growing up, revising, thinking backwards, nostalgia. Some of you may be traveling far from home, but to places you've been before. That's kind of maybe doing a little re-renovation or hammering in the house. Hopefully not too much conflict in the home. Sometimes domestic conflict happens with this kind of transit. But he is retrograde, as he has been already since December the 6th. December the 6th, yeah. And on January 6th, he moved into Cancer again. He was in Cancer September and October. So a lot of what's happening in your sky as you go into the month of February is very much taking you back mostly to events of October. So keep this in mind, all right? What was going in October with home, land, property, real estate, travel, separation from your home, distance from someone in your home, like, separating from someone who normally would be in your home, fighting with people in the home, hopefully not. So the retrograde Mars here is going to, for an entire February the 6th to the 13th, flow to one planet, Saturn. And this is exquisite. What this brings you is a huge amount of stamina, endurance, actions and propulsions of decisions that are steadfast, enduring. It's like forbearance and perseverant action brings success. And you can really dig into a project here, especially from your home or from your travel from home, where you're working on some kind of thing behind the scenes that you want to accomplish. A book draft, a book proposal, the outline of a course, a creative project of some sort. You may even be plotting something to do with a change of home, because Mars rules the house of mortgages and the South Node's in the house of rentals. And maybe there's a lot of effort behind the scenes somewhere between February 6th and 13th about home changes and home plans, including buying, selling, moving, and renting. But whatever you're doing, you're able to do it with a sort of persistence and diligence and hard work that pays off, totally pays off. So this is a really lovely time for everyone going through this trine where Mars is doing something good for you, me, and the world. Now, what else is happening in the sky early in the month besides the Pluto-Venus story? And that's February 6th to 8th again. And then Mars doing this action February 6th to February 13th. We're going to have what we call a cazimi, which means, well, it's Mercury moving to the heart of the sun. There is some dispute if it's technically called a cazimi. I will give you that. I will give a shout out to Ksenia Moore, who has mentioned before that she believes that a cazimi could only be when Mercury's between the sun and the earth. So we're just going to call it a Mercury-Sun conjunction. Let's just be simplified here. And that will be on February the 8th and 9th. So let's take ourselves forward a bit to take a look at February 8th and 9th. So here we see this 20-degree sun and Mercury joining in and holding hands at 21. It's pretty exact on February 9th in North America time zone. What a cazimi does is allows for a divine download and an opportunity for a reset button. And you're resetting something to do with friendships, social groups, projects that you're working on that have to do like with career and purpose, because we're looking at Mercury being very aligned here with Jupiter to do commercial success, but also you want to do something to reset your dreams and goals or long-range plans. And Pluto here is helping you revision and transform what they should look like. And this is a really good day, basically, February 9th, to sit with it. You're going to feel it, the 8th, 9th, and 10th of February, but to really sit with this energy and ask yourself, what is it that I could be inspired by? What new idea? But lots of times as well, Mercury is like the phone call, the email, the text, the conversation with an 11th house person, a colleague, a coworker, someone who's a friend or an ally, or a sibling one older than you. And there could be an actual event that goes on around March the 9th with that kind of communication that opens up a surprising door of opportunity from Jupiter's whole sign flow, but surprise, Uranus in the second house on well star Algol. And it's not always a bad thing. So there can be a bit of a surprise around financial matters, career gains, and money in your second house of earnings and resources that could feel like the information that comes at you surprises you, requires actions and decisions, but in the flow from Jupiter in the main is actually feeling like a good thing. Now, the sun and Mercury co-joining together are also in, as I said, that square to Uranus. And it doesn't really perfect, just so you know, until a couple of days later when we move into around the 11th and the 12th of February. And so it's almost like a divine download or insight or a phone call or a text message. And right on the heels of that, right after that, this little surprise financially from the house of good spirit that also includes the word windfalls and pennies from heaven. And so this is exciting. This is positive. You're going to not mind this. Yay, you. It's such a positive month. February is an oasis of goodness compared to things we've been going through in the world. When we talk about Sun square Uranus, and this is in play, just so you know, all the way from about, oh, goodness gracious, the 11th to the 13th. There is always the element with a square of a decision that needs to be taken or an action that needs to be taken, right? Or both. So it's the element of the square isn't to be afraid of that red line, but to understand that red line is going to propel you to be very swift moving on some opportunity that may be coming. And it's third house energy from Jupiter. It could be a travel opportunity, it could be a speaking opportunity, writing opportunity, communications opportunity, learning and teaching opportunity. So just jump on it. It's coming from the house of good spirit. It's going to be super good. Full moon in Leo is happening on the 24th of the month. Now, Leo for you, the part of the sky that is Leonine, is your pleasure house right over here. Fun, joy, sex, romance, pleasure, children, fertility, and fertility. If you're of childbearing age, you or your partner may conceive a child anytime we have a new moon at about 6 weeks, 1 month after. It's a really nice conception window. So this full moon, I should say, full moon, new moon, full moon, it's full. It's full, but that's okay. It's like a full flashlight in the house of fertility. It's fruitfulness. It's fruit-bearing trees dropping the apples. Are you possibly in a very deep desire to fulfill a conception? That would kind of be not a bad opportunity for you guys. So full moon, 24 degrees Leo. Always here, though, anyways. Full moons are like fulfillments of things you started 6 months earlier when we had a new moon in Leo. And the ultimate gist of it is you're probably going to complete something that you have been working on in an entrepreneurial or creative direction. That's two meanings of the fifth house. But a full flashlight in the house of joy, fun, play, and pleasure will activate for you the energy of that. And the full moon starts again on February the 12th, and you may see the results of it in the month that follows, a fullness in the sex and fun and play and pleasure and romance house. Yay. And let's actually take a look at the moon. I should actually put the moon back in now that I'm doing something different, which is I'm letting the chart flow, which normally I don't do. Nope, nope, nope. Normally I keep that but we're going to play a new game. Lori's mixing it up here, guys. I'm mixing it up. This is not exactly the most pretty backdrop. I realize that. Maybe I'll work on it, but I just want to be comfy. Let's get back to you guys. Okay, we're moving forward to talk about the moon that's happening here at 24 degrees of Leo on the 12th. All right, back it up, Lori. There's the moon right over here. And the sun will be around 24 degrees, and that means the moon will be perfectly full at 24 degrees. You'll notice that there's a little Uranian shock and awe on the fixed star algol, a little surprise, a little oh my God, what does this mean? A kind of jolt again in the money axis, but also the children, romance, fun, play, pleasure. And this is also a house of windfalls. I just want to be clear. The second and the fifth house can be winning money and speculation and gambling. And the 11th house is just pennies from heaven and windfalls and sort of graces of the gods upon you. So there could be some kind of financial abundance here that surprises you. And that, again, is a theme I keep seeing for some of you. It may not be a big deal, but it may be very positive. And that flowing moon can unfold, 3 days before the moon, actually, sometimes on the February 12th and up to a month after. As we go forward, I want you to really think about something I'm about to share with you. As we started the month, you might have noticed that Mercury, the messenger, was hanging out in Aquarius. And so he's been toddling through the sign of Aquarius. And here you'll notice he's just about to jump the fence into Pisces. So he's been busy helping you with your career gains and ideas and social groups and friendship circles. And just watch what happens. He's going to cross the boundary line. Oops, how am I going backwards? That's dumb. And as we move forward, good old Mercury jumps the fence, and here we have it. We're now looking at his moving into the next sign on February 14th, and that's Valentine's Day. And that's a very kind of interesting spot. It's a very dreamy, magical, spiritual, higher love vibration there with Neptune, very soulmatey. And if, when you want to spend your ideal Valentine's Day, do it in a getaway. This is like the float tank, the spa, the retreat, the getaway, the downtime in the home, you and your partner in a solitude, cozy back room. If you don't have a partner, that's fine, but it's just that vibe for Valentine's Day. And he'll be here, by the way, until March 3rd in the sign of Pisces. So keep that in mind. And it's really good for your dreams at night. And if you're somebody who dream journals or has high dream recall, Mercury is the dream messenger. And while he travels the 12th house, insights and journeys, shamanic journeys, trance states, hypnosis, meditation are all highly, highly activated for you, starting on February 14th through to March the 3rd. Now we have a strange empty sky in the sense that, empty sky, in the sense that we're going to find that pretty well from the 12th of February or the 13th of February all the way to the 20th, nothing's happening, which is kind of liking, because doesn't mean I feel rushy getting these videos out for you guys. It's really an easy month that way. You could kind of have a void. And I'm going to say this for each sign. When the sky is quiet, and this is February 13th to the 19th, when the sky is this quiet, you can move away from being grabbed by the sky. In the ancient world, they called the planets the grahas or the grabbers. You do not need to be swept around like a pawn on the game board of celestial forces. And if I'm being prescriptive for you, which I am, and me and everyone else, how can you, if you're not being grabbed, how can you enjoy this side of reality? You can go inward into the contemplation of things you wish to do in solitude, because it is in solitude that you will find amazing restoration, ideas, stability, visions, and dreams. And so new ideas can be hatched from your alone time. And because the sky is quiet, I know you see these lines. I see that. I don't count the moon. She's moving too quickly. But this Mars is actually really, because of his retrogradation, past the interconnection with Saturn. So just trust me on it. Take the 13th to the 19th for creative solitude, for inward and introspective times, for deepening your soul work, and allow yourself to remain empty, open, and fallow. Don't try to do too much hustle at this time, because this is not what this kind of sky looks like it's for, my humble opinion. On February, it's such a beautiful oasis of nothing. February the 20th, Mercury squares Jupiter. You could feel it on the 19th to the 21st kind of playing out. Mercury squaring Jupiter is usually something to do with news or information that's positive but has an edge. Now, Mercury, of course, is in your 12th house and Jupiter's in your third. Both houses can involve distant lands or foreign travel or travel in general. So there may be a glitch in a travel plan on February 20th. The airlines are out. There's a power outage. There's hailstorms coming through. And so just look for that opportunity to just not be disappointed on February 20th. Also, maybe a glitch in a project you're working on behind the scenes and your ability to dispense it into the world. Like, for example, launching a course. Maybe you're going to start launching a course or something, or take a course, and there's just a little hiccup in something to do with a disruption of the plan or the direction that you're planning to go. That's a possibility. Also, some news from a sibling, one younger than you, coming through the sky on February 20th that feels a bit disruptive. On February 23rd, Mercury will trine Mars. Now, Mercury's busy. I should have just said it straight up. February 19th to the 28th is all about Mercury. Mercury's got the whole show, right? The guy's like, I'm in charge. It's my show. Bugger off everybody else. Mercury is trining Mars on February the 23rd. You'll feel it like a day before and after. Let's see if I can move us forward to show it to you. I need to put my glasses on for the rest of these because you guys are far away. So Mercury's trining Mars on February 23rd. This will not be this easy when I'm not pinning Aries to the side. And let's talk about what that means. Again, when you see Mercury, think ideas, communications, understanding, information. In your very subtle, very backroom deals and negotiations, quiet time, solitude, bed pleasures, creative projects, 12th house. See, that stellium is very rare, just so you know. Well, a lot of us astrologers are talking about it. All these planets in this place all at once is not a common feature of the sky. It's very powerful. There's a huge lopsidedness here for you. What are you supposed to be doing in and from your solitude and quietude? And why is it connected, by the way, to Mars in the 4th house? Mars retrograde, back over territory. He was traveling in October, getting ready to station direct on February 23rd. Having him station direct while engaging in this trine is positive. He's going back to, basically, just so you know more accurately, he's going back to events that go back to Halloween time, almost like the last few days of October, the very first few days before the US election. So it is a kind of feeling, right? Like going back maybe to November, up to November 3rd, that places and things you were doing back then in your home, about your home, traveling from home, making changes in the home, things that were happening then are now back again for reassessment, but in such a positive way. And, you know, Mercury is with the sun for vitality and purpose and soul, the North Node for destiny, Neptune for vision, and Saturn for making the visions real. There's something like most Aries want to do here in that February 23rd station turnaround of Mars, that's really asking you to take some vision and project that you may have been working on and bring it forward with bold ambition and courage as Mars begins to turn around and go direct and travel forward in the sign of Cancer. I feel like you might find this is going to be very exciting if you are thinking of changing your home to another country, getting a digital nomad visa, passport. Those things can be very much, Mars is like, I'm an expat, I'm exiled from my home, and 12th house is distant shores. If you engage in commercial revenue from international business because you work online and you don't have to worry about, you know, it's borderless income and revenue, this is very good for you as well. And it could look like something wants to really take off, but you might be making changes in your home as well. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Mercury and Mars are ideas that are actionable and actions that are based on good ideas. finally on February 25th, Mercury, it's all about Mercury bumps into Saturn. I don't even have to move us forward, but I'll give it a shot. Mercury and Saturn on February 25th are in a conjunction. They're unified as one being. And there we have it. And so Saturn is structure and focused discipline and enduring things. And Mercury is ideas and information and understanding. What is it that you now have a enduring, stable, reliable, realistic understanding of? Or what idea is taking structure and stabilized form in the sky for you? And there's still a flow to Uranus, the idea of originality, invention. He's now direct. The idea of some kind of aha or divine download. It is connected to a flow regarding money and foreign lands, money and online revenue, money and digital borderless income, money and things to do with maybe a move to another country. That can happen for some of you, or distant shore. You know, the 12th house is distant shores, right? It doesn't have to be another country. Like if you live in, you know, Panhandle of Florida, I'd say Alaska is a distant shore. You see what I'm saying? February 27th, Mercury will sextile Uranus perfectly. I already brought your attention to Saturn and Mercury together are flowing to Uranus. They perfect it on the 27th, indicating again this energy of positive monetary financial surprise. End of story. Now, the only other thing I can say is if you've had an addiction you couldn't shake, a substance misuse or disuse disorder, a really bad habit or something like that, this could be a breakthrough moment in getting rid of that forever. And that would be around February 27th. And then lastly, a new moon is happening at 9 degrees of the sign of Pisces. Now, new moons, new beginnings, they can unfold for 6 months to the full moon. New beginning, new moon at 9 Pisces is what new beginning do you want to create here? What is it that you want to generate something fresh in you? And again, is it something to do with your alone time, your solitude, your borderless income, international revenue? Perhaps again with Mars, are you planning a getaway from your home to change your home? If you have a rental, South Node says time to let go of the rental. Where are you going to go? The only other thing I can say is a rescue pet from a foreign country could be the same sky. You know, we're talking about that moon on the 27th of February. Now, don't forget, now we have a sky in which Mars is direct as of February 24th and Jupiter's direct on February 4th. And what does that mean? That means that we can go forward. So Mars moving direct on the 23rd means that you're moving forward in your life. And Jupiter says the same thing. Forward momentum regarding decisions and actions to do with home, property, land, real estate, and also, of course, to do with matters connected to your communications, travel, and online and social media, marketing, selling, neighbors, and neighborhood. Those are all moving in a forward motion. All right, that's it. This is a new experiment. You got me in a little desk here. Got like my office for you guys. I'm going to keep trying different things. This is certainly not what you know, those little purple glows that people have behind them. And that's a clock above me. But I'll be working on getting this thing figured out. I'm just going to try something new. And this is my trying something new. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check everything in my description box. And if you want to join me in the Venus class, I would love to have you. We're going to start March 1st. It's 6 weeks live. It's super affordable. I haven't set the price yet, but it'll be like really cheap because I would like a lot of people to go through this journey of what I'm calling the class Liberate, because Venus keeps getting besieged between two malefics and she keeps pushing out and liberating herself. So I'm going to call this class Liberate, and we're going to do a deep dive in how we liberate ourselves regarding values, our relationships, our worth, our money, our friendships, and how we can be liberating ourselves to something destined and visionary and new. So if you're interested in that kind of journey with me, in live classes, replays available, some guided meditations, it's going to be fun. It's once a week for 6 weeks. If you can't make it, there's always a replay, and you get to keep the material forever. I'll have it housed on my teaching platform. So check the description box below. I'd love to see you there. I'm having a weird hair day. All right, thanks, guys. Oh, I know. I'm touching my hair. Some of you know that I've recently been diagnosed here as ASD, autism spectrum disorder, or neurodivergent is probably a better term. And I do tend to fidget and touch my hair. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. All right. Thanks, guys.